My name is Sari van Pooije. I'm the director of Intact Academy and of Agile Business Innovation. We help businesses innovate more quickly than the products, and we teach others to do that too in our Intact Academy for coaches and consultants. You can find us on the websites www.intactacademy.com and www.agilebusinessinnovation.com. Today, we're talking about the development of teams because there are levels to the team. So we talked about structural, relational, psychodynamic level. That gives you the photo diagnosis. Now we're going to talk about the film diagnosis of teams. How do you know what they need while they develop? What stages of development do they have? What should leaders do at each stage of development? And what should you do as a team coach? So just as a quick reminder, we're going to show you the different levels of the team again. And here you have diagnostics, the photo and the film. But we were talking last time about the structure, the relationship, the psychodynamics. In the structure, the photo, we talked about boundaries, hierarchy, roles. In relationship, we talk about dynamics, about social ranking. It's really interesting personas. And at the psychodynamic level, we talk about imago, transference, and personalities. Now, when we do film diagnostics, we have to realize how a structure develops. And the first state of developmental structure is really the leader has an idea. He wants to create a team, to do something, to create a product or a service. And at that first moment, the idea is the team. So the team always starts as an idea in the head of the founder. After a while, if they're successful, they try to find other people to join them. And so we have this first visible stage of team formation, which is the formation of the relationship between the leader and the member. The member comes because they're interested in the product, but more often because they believe that the leader can be successful. And that already creates kind of a dependency in that relationship. The leader is looking for people who will do everything that's needed within the team without having to manage them too much. So most leaders at the beginning of the formation of the team start with the mistake of choosing friends and family to join because they think they don't have to manage them as much because they're like them. That really is a fallacy, as we will see later, but it's understandable. So after the idea moment, the second moment of team formation is the relationship between leader and member. If the team goes well and their product and service really, hits the market and people want it, then the demand exceeds the possibility of one person and one other person to produce, to market, to keep relationship with customers. And so slowly, more people get attracted into the team. At that point, we have a leader with a clear boundary. Usually they're charismatic. It's a different name for directive. And around them, they have a loose group of people who all participate. At that point, this boundary around the team isn't very strong yet. People move in and out depending on how they're feeling, if they get along with the leader or not, more importantly, if the leader gets along with them or not. And so we have a clear line, boundary around the leadership, but a really permeable line around that membership. This means at this moment that the team is functioning, but the identity of the team isn't set very clearly. The only thing that's set is the product, service, and the leader. The membership shifts and the identity isn't clear. So, at this point, also the market knows, oh, that's an interesting product, but they're not sure who's making it yet. At the fourth level of development, what we see is that this boundary around the team becomes more clear. So that means it's clearer who's in and who's out. The identity of the team becomes clearer besides the identity of the product and service. And because they're growing, what you see slowly is that the leader needs to pay more attention to the customers. And so they hire or they ask the people who've been there longest to be kind of coordinators or team leaders under the big leader. The big leader starts to focus outside, and each time they bring new customers in, but new ideas in. And the team leaders are really responsible for managing the people underneath who are actually doing the production. This creates what we call vertical differentiation. And as vertical differentiation exists, the team becomes more complex, of course, because now you've got concentric circles in the team. The practical consequence of that is that the original leader has contact with the market, but kind of loses contact with people who work with them. So they have intense contact with the team leaders, but the members of that team are one removed from the founder of the team who was there at the beginning. This means that these members have to start really getting a feeling for the product. So they're more attached to the organization than to the leader. This also means that the team has to get a clearer identity, else people can't do that kind of attachment. So the leader is at this point busy with customers, with bringing in new ideas, but also busy with who is this team? How can I lead my team leaders that they can lead the members? It becomes a complex job with a focus outside and a focus inwards. What happens as well is that these team leaders who up till then have been managing kind of generalists, now, apart from this vertical differentiation, we also get more clear horizontal differentiation. So that means that the members start to get specialized in different ways of being and doing in different roles. So some are busy with production, some with sales, some with after sales. And you also see that the recruitment in the team changes. So at the beginning, it was really people who were attracted to the leader, later to the product. And now it's really, they are hired for their expertise in one certain area. And here we have a fully developed team. So you've got a leader, you've got different concentric circles of leaders under that. You've got specialized members with minor internal boundaries in between. After this state of team formation, we have other phases. But what's interesting is that the team development goes from very simple, one person doing everything, which has the benefit that you don't have to manage anyone, but has the limitation that you can't produce great volumes, of course. You're limited by time and by energy. As you grow through these phases of development, the team becomes more complex. Every boundary you create also means a limitation of energy. So every boundary you create, you lose information, you lose energy, you lose money. Every boundary needs to be managed. So you have more overhead. The benefit of creating more complexity is that you can specialize in certain products, in certain segments of customers, which means you can both create volume and specialization, but you create a lot more cost. What I'm saying is that these stages of development go from simple to complex. This means you can create more product for a complex market and more volume. But each time you create complexity, you're going to solve one problem, but cause the next. So there is no way you can skip stage of development. That's the other thing I want to say. People really like to go from very simple to completely fully developed. That's not really possible, because at each stage of development, you also learn something different. And we'll talk about that in a while. Good luck with your development.